Hello, I am recording this in August of 2022. It's been almost 4 years since I've worked on this project. I did record the next part that I never got around to finishing and releasing, so I am just going to release that now, but I will try and pick this project back up and finish it soon. I did try and experiment with this one, doing a co-host, or I guess a one-man audience read, an interactive read. Didn't work out very well. Probably not going to do that again, but there are some funny parts that I liked, so I'm going to keep it in. I hope you enjoy.
Hello and welcome back to Tough Voyaging Abridged, Episode 4, The Plague Star, Part 3. Hopefully the last part. Might end up doing another part here because, lo and behold, we got my buddy Kyle on the line, and he's going to criticize and insult and otherwise make a mockery of this project that I'm working on.
I got a critique for you right off the bat.
Yeah?
You're 4 parts into this series, but
Yep.
you're only at the 3rd part of this story? Doesn't
Yeah,
sound
there's
very appropriate to me. That's like
what's the word for prologue. There's a prologue.
prolapse.
It felt like a prolapse reading it because it was so bad.
George R. R. Martin heard that.
Nah, man, why would he waste his time? We left our heroes and villains split up about the mega giant super ship, the Ark. Kaj Nevis, the mean big bully dude inside the giant like octopus battle suit, has murdered Anitas, the cybertech, mostly out of spite, and Celise Swan has indirectly turned Mushroom, the kitty cat, Haviland Tuff's cat, into a pile of goo. But thankfully, Haviland Tuff is creating a clone of Mushroom in one of the numerous cloning vats, tools, desks that he's come across. Yeah, that's where we left them all. And now we're picking up the story with Rika Dawnstar. She's like the youngest mercenary who is now on the bridge of the ship. She doesn't have a clue what she's doing. She has no idea. She doesn't have any experience with any of this stuff. This is all alien technology, effectively, to her. But she recognizes that the control systems are intended to be operated by a team of trained officers, okay? She's sprinting around the control room trying to figure out what sequence of button presses is going to make her the head honcho on the ship. Eventually, she figures it out, at least some of it, and she manages to lock the elevator that brought her up to the bridge, and she isolates herself from the rest of the ship. After a lot of effort, she manages to bring up a systems check, and there's 2 types of reports. There's one on, like, the bacteria and nasties, the viruses, the fungi, and other various animal life forms that we don't know about. So there's a microphage report and a macrophage report. There's a report on all the diseases, and there's a report on the big critters that have been released into the ship to take care of the intruders. She is one such intruder, but she's now in a position to make the ship identify herself as not an intruder, and instead let the defenses take care of Kaj Nevis and Haviland Tuff and Celise Swan and everybody else. And she's really impressed by how many diseases. She has no idea what they are. The second biodefense on the macroscopic defenses is just as impressive, and she hadn't heard of many of these. But anyway, it says this: stand by bioweapons at the ready, 47. And Rika starts reading the list of species that appeared on the bioweapons list, and she's like, oh, this is boring, but it starts, more things are popping up, and she doesn't really have any control over what the computer's doing now, and it says, all cloning procedures complete. Malfunctions in VATS 671 3312 3379. Malfunctions aborted. Stasis fields terminated. Release cycle commencing. And Rika's like, oh shit. This could be helpful with dealing with Kaj Nevis, but it could also just mean more problems for me. So she's like, I gotta turn this shit off. I don't want to deal with this stuff.
Good for her.
The reports start coming by quickly, and the first one's species, and it's just a big long list of numbers here. Homeworld, Vilcacus?
Yikes.
Right? Common name?
Yikes.
Hooded Dracula. And Rika has heard of this critter.
It's a vampire story.
Yeah, basically. Rika has heard of this critter. It's dumb as bricks, but has excellent hearing and is super aggressive. Could this thing kill Nevis in that giant battle suit? Nah, probably not. Time to stop this before Rika got into more trouble. Another one pops up. It's a species number, and it's a big long list of numbers here. And homeworld, abattoir. Common name, hell kittens. And then Rika's like, I know that planet. That planet had a bunch of colonizing parties, and they all disappeared because the planet ate them all. So she thinks to herself, like, man, these hell kittens, are they going to be able to kill Nevis? No, probably not. Initiating release. And she's like, nope, time to stop this shit. Released. And Rika starts slamming all the buttons, but nothing's happening. If anything, they start getting released quicker.
She should probably slam them harder.
Another planet gets listed. It says Jaden 2, and the common name of this creature is called the Walking Web. There's another one from an unnamed planet called the Roller Ram. There's another one from Earth, which is listed as extinct. Common name Tyrannosaurus Rex. And she's now wildly scrambling around trying to turn this process off and doesn't know how she does it, but she succeeds it. And she's like, oh fuck, 5 of these bioweapons got released. What the hell is a T-Rex anyway? And then it cuts over to our main man, Jeffrey Lyon. So Jeffrey's he's wandering around. He's following these floor guidelines, and once the floor guidelines stopped, Jeffrey basically made up a navigation system and got hopelessly lost on the ship. He has no idea where he is. Eventually he hears Cash Nevis in his battle suit stomping around and going, "Pom pom pom! I hate everybody!" is basically what he sounds like. And he hears him, but he's far away and he's getting closer. And he smiles to himself as he sets up his plasma cannon on a tripod. So we cut over to Haviland Tough, and he finds himself trapped under his cloning workstation by the T-Rex. So at the end of the last episode, he was working on his cloning.
A T-Rex?
Oh, he was cloning a cat, and he was doing it so diligently that he didn't hear the T-Rex get released from the vat behind him and sneak up on him and go chomp. So he managed to get himself underneath the workstation, which conveniently is solidly attached to the wall. It's like an extrusion instead of just a random desk. And so he's tucked himself. He's a big dude. He's tucked himself underneath this desk, and the T-Rex is just... what is it? He considers how a 7-meter carnivorous lizard managed to sneak up on him. The T-Rex couldn't quite fit his face under the desk, and Tough was momentarily safe, and he says, go away. Tough said as firmly as he
smart.
could. Yeah, the
That'll
T-Rex did not go away. Tough claims that he has a better claim to life because the T-Rex is cloned out of extinction, and the T-Rex vigorously disagrees and showers Tough in a spray of saliva as it roars in frustration. Now we cut over. There's a lot of cuts. We just kind of like jump around from perspective to perspective here. We cut over to Celise Swan, who was traveling with Jeffrey Lyon. They both had armed themselves heavily from the ship's armory, and they were trying to find anything to do that would better their situation. But she is the worst. That's Celise Swan. And so Jeffrey abandoned her because she didn't want to. She was like, I'm not moving anymore. And so now she's by herself. And Celise sees a flicker in the corner of her eye. She tries to turn and catch sight, but there's nothing there. She nervously unholsters her dart pistol. She chucked the laser rifle a while back because it was too heavy. The pistol shoots explosive darts, so she doesn't even have to be accurate with it, so that's much more preferable in her opinion. She moves into a storage bay in pursuit of her imagination. Another flash in the corner of her eye, but she sees where it went. She corners the thing. It's a cat. Well, not quite. It lets out a reptilian hiss and spits at Celise Swan, hitting her square in the faceplate. Good thing she's got this pressure suit on still. She blasts it with her dart pistol, and it explodes into a fine mist, and Celise Swan grunted. Remember that scene in Jurassic Park? Where
Jurassic Park.
Newman from Seinfeld is like stuck in this.
Look at
in
this
the
guy.
Jeep,
Nobody cares.
and then the dinosaur comes in and sprays him with tar or something in his face, and he's like, "Ah!" And then it eats him. It's like that dinosaur. It goes, and it looks all cute at first, but then it opens up its frilly neck and sprays shit in your face, and you go, "Ah!" And then it eats you. Anyway, Celise Swan blew it up with her explosive pistol. Now we cut back over to Jeffrey Lyon. Jeffrey is Jeffrey was confident his plasma cannon would deal with Kaj Nevis. He didn't know what Nevis's battlesuit was made of, but a plasma cannon bolt could melt through 5 meters of solid duralloy. Nevis would be ash inside of the suit before he even knew what happened. Sadly, the cannon had to be set up on a tripod and took a minute to charge, so Jeffrey Lyon would only have 1 shot most likely. He set it up as an automated turret that would fire at anything approximately the size of an Unquin battlesuit. Clever. He heard Nevis stomping around nearby and set off to lure him into his cunning trap. Now we cut back to Rika. And Rika Dawnstar has figured out how to get live stats on the ship's crew and not crew. It appears that everyone on the cornucopia...
She's real quick.
She's real quick. She's real good. It appears everyone on the cornucopia of, yada cornucopia of excellent goods at low prices has made it aboard the Ark somehow. She sees a map with all these red dots on it representing the crew that have survived, so Tuff and Celise and Jeffrey and Cash and everyone else. She slowly figures out that each dot means the people, and 1 dot means the plasma cannon, and 1 dot's the battlesuit, and she sees that black dots on the thing also represent the bioweapons that have been released, so the T-Rex and the roller ram and the walking web and the hell kittens and everything. As the people and monsters get near each other, she pulls up camera feeds and watches the ensuing chaos from the secure comfort of the bridge.
Okay.
Now Kaj Nevis is lumbering down a corridor in his big ol' 8-foot suit going clunk, clunk, clunk. And there's an explosive blast that knocks him in the back of the head, sending him to the ground. The suit is totally
Hey, who was
damaged.
that? Hey, stop it.
Yeah, pretty much. But so here's the thing. He's the only way he can communicate with people outside of the suit, which is everybody, is through the speaker system on the suit, which is turned up all the way max volume. So every little sound he makes is just peaked.
Hey, that was me. Cut it out.
So he gets up, and the suit's undamaged. He turns and he sees Jeffrey Lyon standing confidently with his explosive dart pistol leveled. And Lyon's like, "We meet again, Blackguard!" And then Nevis in his max volume voice goes, "So we do, Lyon! How good to see you! Come here and shake hands!" And he snaps the pinchers of his lower arms. And he... clink, clink! And Nevis thinks about torturing Jeffrey Lyon and then letting the plagues finish the job.
Yikes.
He's a bad person. Jeffrey lets
These guys
another
are
dart
terrible
fly.
friends.
But it's ineffectual. Yeah, none of these guys are friends. They all turn on each other immediately. They let the dart fly, but it's ineffectual. He tries a blast from the laser rifle, and nothing happens. He throws down his weapons and flees, and Nevis hastens his pursuit. Now it cuts over to Haviland Tuff. And Tuff's trying to ignore the fact that he's trapped just out of reach of a very hungry carnivorous dinosaur. By thinking of nice things to eat. That's what he's thinking of. He was a very patient person. His plan to think of food worked because the T-Rex went away. Tuff crawled out from under the table and observed that the T-Rex had smashed his poor kitty cat's corpse into nothingness. Thankfully, Thankfully, more intact cloning machines and stations were just down the hall, so Tuff gathered a little tissue sample and started working, listening for T-Rex footsteps the whole time. Celise 1 is now congratulating herself for exploding that lizard kitty that she found. Her faceplate was smeared where the cat spat at her, though, and she smears it around more and then starts looking for food. As she turned around, another reptilian feline appeared in front of her, and she shoots but misses, and the cat also spits at her. She tries to pursue the cat, but her faceplate is turning opaque. She decides that she'll have to remove the helmet, but remembers that the air might be full of germs. She recalls her experiment with Tuff's cat Mushroom, who didn't seem to suffer from the air, informing the reader that she did not notice Mushroom dissolving in Haviland Tuff's arms due to her actions. She convinces herself Tuff is just a nasty man out to make her feel uncomfortable and rips off her now impossible to see through helmet.
Oh no.
And throws it as hard as she can. She noticed the bit of spit that had gotten on her hand had dissolved away the outer layers of her suit, breaching it. She suddenly regretted removing the helmet. A cat appeared down the hallway. She shoots and misses and gives pursuit, not feeling safe until the thing was dead. Now we're back to Jeffrey Lyon. Jeffrey's running from Kaj Nevis. He's just out of reach, taunting him. He tosses a big old grenade, but it barely slows down Nevis in the battlesuit. And just as he's about to lure Nevis into the plasma cannon blast zone, Nevis stops, dead cold, and laughs, looking above Jeffrey's head. Jeffrey looks up and sees a black, leathery thing detached from the ceiling. He catches a glimpse of the small yellow and red eyes of the thing before its wet, fleshy cape folds around him to muffle his sudden, startled scream.
It was a blanket? A wet blanket?
Pretty much. And Nevis is just like going, but at max volume.
That's really fucking weird to laugh. I peed on that blanket!
Rika Dawnstar's up in the bridge figuring out how to control the ship. She learns how to identify each person and monster aboard the ship. She notes that Haviland Tuff is trying to clone something, and she lets him do it. She sees that Kaj Nevis and Lion are playing tag, but Jeffrey Lyon has been caught by the hooded Dracula. Solis had stopped, and a swarm of monsters appeared to be approaching her. She prepares to start cleaning the air of the pathogens, but decides to let things play out just a bit longer with the survivors. So she's not going to remove all the bugs from the air yet. Now we're back with Solis Swan, and Solis, having removed her helmet, is beginning to experience what Mushroom experienced, which is to say her body is shutting down as it contracts 1,000 fatal illnesses at once. She decided to squat and catch her breath, but that made everything hurt worse, and now she lay down, her legs paralyzed and the paralysis creeping up her body. One of the acid-spitting lizard kitties popped around the corner in the hall and hissed at her. Solis managed to hit it with her dart pistol with the little strength that she still had. Another cat bounded into the hallway, then a second, and a third. Solis struggles to fire again, and she misses. A cat spat and hit her between the eyes. Were she not paralyzed, she would have torn her eyes out due to the pain. Now blind, she felt a swarm of kittens biting at her, spitting at her. The renewed pain gave her brief strength, and she pulled a light grenade from her belt. Then she blowed herself up. Now we're back to Kaj Nevis, and he's watching Dracula liquefy and suck off Jeffrey Lyon's face and laughing about it. At first, Jeffrey struggled, looking like a man fighting an umbrella, but soon he lay motionless. Nevis loudly snuck up on the creature. Just the thought. I've built an image in my head of what this guy looks like in this battle suit, and it's every single time the book talks about him, it uses very loud words and like describes him as being super clumsy and just smashing everything all the time. Like, I'm pretty sure that stole this from the book. Nevis loudly snuck up on the creature and grabbed it. Lion's face is mostly missing, and as the Dracula squealed, Nevis fantasized about releasing thousands of them on some planet he doesn't like, and then ripped the creature in half. Oh man, that's as far as I've gotten. I don't have any more notes. Yeah, I gotta bridge even more. Well, I got one more part. It goes back to Haviland Tuff, and I wrote down in 6 paragraphs, Tuff is cloning a cat, and it won't get sick this time. Alright, that was part 3 of The Plague Star, with my buddy Kyle co-hosting, I guess. Be sure to tune in next time for the thrilling conclusion of Tough Voyaging Abridged, The Plague Star, Part 4.